So let's talk about the labor market. First of all, everybody can be categorized into three categories. They can either be employed, meaning they have found a job, whether that's part-time or full-time. Unemployed, which means that they have not found a job but they're looking for a job, and not in the labor force, which means that they are not actively looking for a job. Now, we can calculate some things with that. First of all, the labor force is the employed plus the unemployed. So that would be everybody who's either looking for a job or have found a job. The unemployment rate is the unemployed divided by the labor force, which would be employed plus unemployed. Now this is showing how many of the people in the labor force are currently unemployed. Participation rate, which shows is labor force divided by population. Now, this will tell you how many people in the entire population are currently looking for a job or have found a job or are in the job market altogether. Now, let's look at an example. Suppose we have 20 soccer players and 10 of them have found a team. So they have found like a job basically that they're playing for. 5 are still looking for a team and 5 are simply not looking. They're maybe demotivated, they don't want to look anymore. They're just not looking anymore. Now let's calculate the unemployment rate and the participation rate. So unemployment rate will be 5 divided by 15 because 5 is unemployed. And then 15 is the addition of employed plus unemployed. So that would be the labor force, which would be 1 over 3 or 33%. Now you will get 0.33%. You will get 0.33, but then you'll multiply by 100 to get 33%. Now, as for the participation rate, you would take the labor force at the top, so 15, we got it from the same number, 10 plus 5, and then you'll divide it by the population. Now, the total population is 20 soccer players right there. So 3 over 4, 75%. That means 75% are actively either working or looking for a job out of the entire population. Now, suppose that 3 of the players that were looking for a team previously no longer are looking for a team because maybe they're demotivated now. They've been looking for so long. They're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So suppose that 3 of them are no longer looking. So that would be 2 are unemployed and then 8 are no longer looking. Now let's see how that affects our calculations. As for the unemployment rate, so this will go down to 2 right over here, and this one will go down to 2 as well, which would be 1 over 6. So this would be 2 over 12 or 1 over 6. So this would change to 1 over 6, which would be 16.67%. So the unemployment rate went down, but that's because there's less people who are actually in the job market. Now let's look at the participation rate. So we've got the labor force, which would be 12 over here, but then the population stays the same because there's still 20 soccer players in total. So that would mean let's look at this. Be 6 over 10 or 3 over 5. So 3 over 5, which would mean 60%. So it might look better that less people are unemployed, but that also is because there's less people who are participating and trying to find a job. So it might look like it's positive, but it's not quite that. So I hope that example makes sense. I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned about the labor market. Have a good day.